Good evening, Africa. Good evening, African Confessions. I am back with another episode. There is a message that I want to share with you guys. This comes from a translation of a confession that I received. I think it is 2 days ago. That is when I received this message. The message reads like this. Hello, my brother Nashi. How are you? My story is very long, but I will try to make it short as possible. My story goes like this. I am a 33-year-old woman and I am in my second marriage. I got separated from my first husband when I was still pregnant with my first child. But now the problem that I am facing doesn't come from my first marriage, no, but the problem comes from my second marriage. Me and my current husband, we met whilst we were both working here in a foreign country. He was living in a very nice flat with his family when we started dating. When me and my husband started dating, his family didn't like me at all. It was as if me dating their relative, I had came into the family to disturb the peace that they had. No one loved me when I started dating my husband. This went on until me and my husband started to live together. But what would hurt me is that whenever my husband's relative would ask him if he was dating me, he would refuse. He would say that no, we are not dating, we are just friends. But then I gave him an ultimatum. I told him that if he loved me like he claimed to love me, he should tell his family members the truth about me. He was brave enough and he went and he told his parents that I was dating him. This was in 2019. Even though they pretended like they loved me, but I could see that deep down they hated me so much because we were staying in the same complex that my husband was staying with his relatives. So whenever my husband was at work, they would lie to my husband that when he is out, I was entering into our house with different men, and this was just a lie. I am not a cheating person. They just wanted to cause me and my husband to fight. Me and my husband, yes, we did fight because of these lies, but because we loved each other so much, whenever I would pack up my bags so that I can break up with my husband will later come back to my house and he would apologize and he would tell me that he loved me, so I would return to his house. This was like a never-ending cycle. Now, I realized that the problem was coming from my husband's elder brother. That man, he acts as if he is a traditional healer. And it seems like he likes using muti. Most of the times he is using muti. And he is using this muti on my husband because my husband, when I met him, yes, he was working. He has a very nice job. At that time, my husband had a very nice job, but when you could look at him, he seemed so poor, like someone who was not working at all, but he was earning a lot of money. He had only one blanket in his room, and all of his clothes were old and torn. He could not even buy new clothes, even at the end of the month. He was just living his life like that, like a poor man. When I would compare his lifestyle and everything that was happening in his life, and when I could compare the kind of a job that he was doing, those things could not relate. There was something spiritual there, like he had a spirit of poverty on him. So what my husband would do, even though when I first started staying with my husband, I didn't notice this, that my husband, when he comes from work, he would go to his eldest brother's house first and he will leave all of his salary there that he would have worked for that day. Then he will come back to me and he would lie that he was coming straight from work. It was like his elder brother was controlling his mind. Then one day, I don't know what happened. I was the first one to come home from work. I went straight inside the house and I don't know what happened to me. When I walked into our room, there was something spiritual that happened to me. It was as if spiritually I had woken up and I started to see with the eyes of the spirit. and I saw that the situation that me and my husband were living in, everything was not normal. Then suddenly my husband also walked into the room and I started to speak with him, but I spoke with him with command. I asked him, "Where are you coming from?" And my husband started to confess. He said to me that he had gone over to his brother's room. I asked him with command, "Why did you go to your brother's house? What did you go to do there?" Then he confessed and he said that he had gone there because I was the one who had sent him to go to his brother's house. Spiritually, I just commanded my husband and I said to him, "Go back to your elder brother's room and don't walk into the room. Just stand outside and listen. You are going to hear a voice and everything will be revealed unto you." So my husband went outside of our room. Then he walked to his elder brother's room, and as he was standing at the door, he said to me he heard a voice that was speaking inside his elder brother's house, and the voice was saying, "If this woman continue living with your younger brother, this muti isn't going to work." So as my husband was standing just outside his elder brother's room, he heard a voice that was speaking inside. He said to me that the voice that he heard was saying, "If your younger brother continue living with his new wife, this muti isn't going to work. So if you want this muti to work, make sure that he get divorced to this current wife, because spiritually she is confusing this muti. This is the reason why this muti cannot work anymore." So my husband then knocked and he entered into that room. Then he saw a traditional healer which was speaking to his elder brother. Then he just walked out of the room. Then he came back and he confessed everything that had been happening to him. From that day, me and his elder brother, we no longer get along. It's like we are mortal enemies. He hates me so much. I also now dream of my husband's elder brother. Whenever I see him in my dreams, he will be getting into my bedroom and wanting to leave muti inside. But in my dreams, I'll be so powerful. One day, he came across my husband. We were just walking along the road and he said to my husband, "I am trying so hard to make sure that you are going to have an accident." He confessed and he said, "Even though I am trying so hard, I want you to get involved in an accident, but I am failing." Then he just walked away. My husband is a driver and he's a documented person. He has all the papers that are needed for us to be working in the country where we are staying right now. But he can't find work, no matter how hard he tries. Before I had met my husband, he was working, but the money that he was getting at the end of the month, he doesn't even know where all of that money was going. He could not even buy himself some clothes and even blankets. He couldn't even afford anything, yet he was working day in and day out. But now that I came into my husband's life, he just got fired from his job. Maybe it is because of this spiritual battle that is happening between me and my husband's elder brother. So that same week that we met my husband's elder brother, whilst we were walking in the road, and when he confessed that he was trying to cause an accident whereby my husband will be involved in that accident, that very same week that he confessed to us, my husband just lost his job. And I said to my husband, "Do not worry, everything is going to be okay." He has been trying to look for work, but no luck. We have suffered so much, my brother. After my husband's elder brother had confessed that he is the one who is responsible for this spirit of poverty that has been following my husband all these years, 4 months down the line after he had confessed, when I went back to work, I just got fired. With no reason, I just got fired from my job. Now we don't have a plan at all. We are both not working. Me and my husband, we have reached a point of desperation. Please, we need help. If anyone out there knows where there is a driver that is needed, please help us. because me and my husband, we are facing a spiritual battle and we don't know if we are going to get a victory. Right now, we are just desperate. How are we going to survive if I am not working and if my husband is not working? This is my story, my brother. Dear listeners, right there was a message that I received from Anonymous. Then I asked one of our admins to give us a translation. Such a sad story, such a sad story.